Let's get real for a second. 2026 isn't just another year, and it's definitely not just another election cycle. This year is a genuine turning point. And let's make no mistake about it. Everything is up for grabs. Trump's MAGA base is splintering. We have a president who is struggling to lead and sometimes to even stay awake. The Epstein files have created an ongoing and massive scandal that is finally sticking to Trump. And for the first time in years, the energy is finally swinging back in our direction. We saw it last year in those No Kings rallies, in those nail-biter special elections that actually ended up being landslides, and in every local election since, and in the way that the left-leaning side of our party is finally speaking with one unified voice. This is our watershed year. The pendulum is finally swinging back. And the real question now is what each of us are going to do to make sure that this year fulfills all of its promise and all of its potential to actually create a better nation. What we do next will determine whether or not this nation moves truly in the direction of justice, or if it snaps back toward the right wing. The window of opportunity is frankly wide open as we enter 2026, but only if we move first. So if you've ever felt like, I know I need to do something, but I'm not sure where to start, this is your moment too. By the end of this video, you'll know 5 specific in-person actions that you can take right now to build power and real momentum, not online, but in person, in your own community, and where you live. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Cronise McLaughlin. I'm a lifelong activist, a former Wall Street trial lawyer, and for the last 15 years, I've been working with accomplished professionals who feel deeply called to move the needle towards social justice. At the Ripple Effect Institute, we work with people who know that they're here to make a big difference, who feel called, especially in these challenging times, to show up and do what they can to make the nation better. And for this year, I've created a 3-part email activation series that's designed to get you started no matter where you are on your activist journey. If you go to the link below and sign up, right in your inbox, you'll get everything that you need to know on how to get started right now. And now, let's break down the exact real-world steps that you need to take to fight back against Trump in 2026. Action 1. Activate your warm network, in person, and preferably starting this week. So this is where everything starts. Not online, not with strangers, but with people you actually know in your real life. Here's what I want you to do this week to kickstart your action plan for fighting back in 2026. Pick 3 people in your own life, friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, who actually understand what's at stake at this critical moment in American history. And then invite them to meet up face to face. It could be for a walk or a quick cup of coffee or even just a short huddle after work. And here's the key. You're not asking them to change the world, and you're not berating them about how bad it is out there, because anyone who's paying attention actually recognizes that. What you're going to do instead is to invite them to share in one local action, to go to a local meeting about a cause that you care about, to share a volunteer shift with you at an organization that's making a difference, or to join a campaign for a local candidate whose election really matters this year. It sounds simple, but these basic invitations are what actually starts to build momentum in movement building. You essentially shake off those nerves, see who's ready to stand up, and take the first step to getting started. And most importantly, you turn that shared concern into connection. Let me give you an example here from my own life. So in the neighborhood that I live in, over the last few months, there's been a real concern about housing justice and housing insecurity. On my block, a group of neighbors, all of whom care deeply about this issue, well, we decided to do something about it this season that actually could make a difference. And right before the holidays, we got together at someone's house and we made survival kits for 50 families in our local area who are struggling with housing security issues. Some of them are unhoused, some of them are under threat of becoming unhoused, but regardless, we gave them what they needed to survive outside in frigid conditions for a short duration. And the added benefit of this is that when we pulled together our neighborhood, we ended up with 13 kids involved in helping to build these kits, with their parents there to supervise. It became an immediate community building event where people who had never met before got to know each other. People who cared about social justice causes had an opportunity to meet up and talk. And from there, momentum is building. This is a prime example of what just inviting a few friends and neighbors to get together and do something can start. So let's pause here. What would it feel like to have a small group of allies really locked in for this coming year? Maybe people who already have your back and who next time might also bring a friend. And a reminder, if you're thinking about how do I even get started on this, that's what our 3-part activation series is for. Go to the link below, plug in your information, and into your very own inbox, you will get instant advice and support on how to get started. Action 2, volunteer for one real-world shift in the coming month. Now that you've got your team in place, the next thing to do is to actually go take that action that you suggested at that small group meetup. Sign up for a shift with a local campaign. Maybe it's to phone or text bank, maybe it's to door knock. Or another option is to join up with a local immigrant rights organization and do, say, a training on rapid response to defend your neighbors against ICE. You can also volunteer for a shift at your local food bank or soup kitchen, or even just show up for a Zoom meeting with your local Working Families Party, which is deeply committed right now to the election of people who care about working families in America. Go as a pair or even a trio, because accountability is everything, and it's always easier to do something new and maybe a little intimidating if you have friends along for the ride. And here's something to remember. In-person volunteering is about more than just doing the work. It's actually how you meet plugged-in organizers, people who are leading community organizations, people who are true movers and shakers in your own community where you live for social justice. This is how you learn what's happening behind the scenes, and you get looped in for other upcoming actions, including protests, boycotts, or other social justice actions that are going to be taking place where you live. These are things that quite often don't show up on social media. And in fact, this is something really critical to remember as we move into 2026. One of the critical things about organizing generally is that so much is happening offline. And if you are not building the relationships in your own local community with people who are doing social justice work, you may never know about the upcoming opportunities that exist for you to make a difference. And lastly, once you've done it once, it's easier to keep going. So take that first step, do that volunteer work, and get connected with people who care. Action 3, attend a local meeting. Show up to where the decisions get made. Every week, there are dozens of meetings where decisions get made that truly impact our daily lives. Whether it's your city council, your school board, your union hall, or your local environmental protection board, every week things are happening where we live that truly impact our daily lives, our wellness, and our survival. So the third part of your action plan to fight back in 2026 is to pick one meeting this month and go to it. And bring a friend if you can, for all the reasons that we've already discussed. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. Even if you don't speak, your presence in those events is actually power. You're learning critical information that will change the way that you operate in the political work that you do where you live. These meetings are where you hear what's at stake, you spot opportunities, and you connect with people who make decisions that really impact your life and the lives of people you love. Let me give you just one recent example. A few weeks ago, I met with a local activist in Pennsylvania. He and his friends had just discovered that flock cameras, which are monitoring all of us nationwide using AI, were being installed in his local community. When he went to a meeting about this, he learned that at the city council meeting where that decision had been made, no one was there to advocate for the privacy of the people in his own community. In fact, the way this whole thing came up was that the mall where he lived claimed that they needed more security, and the city council decided, without hearing from any of the public, that they would install flock cameras citywide. This is a huge issue for people who care about our privacy and our freedom. Had anyone been present to advocate on behalf of his neighbors, perhaps those cameras would not have been installed. But now, he and his friends, well, they've spotted a major opportunity. They understand now that they need to be in the room where those critical decisions are made. And they are starting a campaign to try to get those cameras removed so that people on his city council are educated and understand the risks. Let me say it again. Half the battle is being in the room and being visible when critical decisions about our safety and our freedom are being made. This is how movements are born and how they grow. Action 4, expand your circle and make sure everyone invites one new person every time. So we have to face a reality in this era that often doesn't get discussed in activist circles, and that's the issue of burnout and overwhelm. We're living under a regime that is flooding the zone with a tremendous amount of bad news and terror tactics at every turn. And it's really hard in this environment to stay stable and grounded. One of the ways that we can do that, though, is by consistently taking action to build community. So let's talk for a minute about how to actually stop burnout and build a real movement. As you continue to meet with your small core group of people, to do your volunteer work, and to attend local meetings, each time you want to challenge those who are coming to bring one new person into the room. Whether it's a meeting, a canvas, or a community event, more hands make for easier work. And the critical thing here is you don't have to fill a stadium or an auditorium or a ballroom. You just have to keep the invitation going. This is how we move from a few friends to a real sustainable base where people can lead community action together. And in this era where so many of us are scared and so many of us are afraid and uncertain about how to take action, being in a closely held community of known people makes people brave. It drives more engagement and it drives consistent engagement over time. This is how we ground ourselves, by surrounding ourselves in the social justice work that we do with people who are there on the same journey with the same values, caring for one another and the communities where they live. And let me just tell you, in my own experience, there's nothing like being surrounded by people who actually get it, where you don't have to explain why you're outraged by the latest ICE raid or the latest action against trans rights or the latest bombing of a boat in the Caribbean. To be able to show up and say, I'm having a hard time today, and have people around you say, you know what, I've got you, we're going to get through this together, makes a massive difference in terms of your own capacity to work towards social justice. So this is not just about taking actions to build a movement, it's also about taking actions that benefit all of us in the form of emotional mutual aid. And it's a critical step for 2026 to make sure that we stay in the work. Action 5, have a real conversation with a local leader or community organizer. One of the things that people tend to forget if they're newer to organizing is that there are plenty of people on the ground already doing the work. Now, I know for those of you who may consider yourself to be the proverbial blue dot in a red state, it may not look that way. But trust me on this. I've worked with thousands of people in rural, red state, right-wing communities who nonetheless actually have allies and friends in their own communities who they only discovered by starting conversations with people actually doing work. By the way, these don't necessarily look like political operatives. Sometimes they're the person who has started your local food bank. Sometimes they're the person who's simply showing up at local city council meetings because they care. Or maybe they're doing independent journalism where you live about local things that really matter. Part of this is about sussing out the people around you who maybe share your values. And this is how we start to move beyond our immediate networks and build bridges to those who are actually doing constructive and substantially larger work. These can be local activists, party leaders, community organizers, or even just that neighbor who always seems to know what's going on. Your action is to simply find a way to start a conversation with that person. Maybe it's after one of the community meetings that you attend with your small group. Maybe it's by sending a text message inviting somebody for coffee. Or maybe it's contacting your most local elected official and asking to talk about issues that really matter to you. And if you're talking to a community organizer or maybe somebody who's running for office, ask them what they need. Talk to them about what's working and ask how your small network can plug in and help. This is not about reinventing the wheel. It's actually about tapping into the momentum that's already flowing where you live. And particularly, it's learning how to make your impact continue to count. Let's take a moment now just to take a breath. Imagine how it would feel in the next couple of months if you had a small group of people who were consistently showing up to take action, volunteering for a candidate that you cared about, showing up for an organization doing the work, and being networked into people who were making decisions that really impact the lives of the people around you. Being able to do that work is incredibly rewarding in and of itself. And I'm betting that having that for you would motivate you to keep going and do more. And that kind of momentum is critical to what we're trying to do in 2026. Now, I want to take a minute at the end of these 5 action steps to say one thing to those folks who may be thinking, but this isn't big enough. This is something that I actually get confronted with on social media all the time. People drop into my mentions and say, what we need is a general strike. Who is going to organize 14 million people on the steps of the Supreme Court? Well, here's a key thing that I will just share with you as a lifetime organizer who's done mass mobilizations in 800 cities worldwide and who's organized more protest events than I can count. People do not show up for things like this if they are not already in a trusted relationship with someone they know. A critical feature to building the kind of momentum that will change America in this year, and by the way, also drive turnout in the 2026 midterms, is starting to build those trusted, networked relationships right now. One of the flaws in the way that we have organized historically for elections is that we have only organized for elections rather than organizing at a community level in trusted relationships over time. The goal for each of us this year has to be networked and tapped in where we live so that when the moment comes to vote for the latest phenomenal progressive candidate, to vote for the mayor of your town who's going to refuse to collaborate with ICE, to vote for the local city council member who's going to make decisions about your water and your air and your traffic patterns where you live, to vote for the school board member who's going to protect the educational rights of our children to learn the truth of American history. The way that people show up for those elections is by relying on people they trust. And so this is a critical turning point now. We all need to realize that the future of this nation depends on what we do locally and what we do right now, because we are living through a once in a lifetime moment of opportunity. As this pendulum swings back, each of us has to be networked with our friends and neighbors so that we become a trusted resource that will drive people to the polls and to take action to finally right this nation. This is the real challenge of 2026 when we think about fighting back. How can each of us move the needle where we live with our friends and neighbors and our own local networks to change this nation for the better, to turn the tide completely, and to finally elect people who care about this country everywhere that we live, all the way to the top of our government. The only way that that can happen is if each of us starts immediately where we live. The pendulum is swinging and the window is wide open, and real change is on the table if we can organize locally and then nationally to create the world we want to see. And just a quick reminder, this work does not and cannot happen online. It's about showing up, bringing friends, plugging into real world power, and building that connection one person, one town, one state at a time. That's how every major movement for justice in this country has ever started. And it is the only recipe in 2026 for how we can win. So this is your invitation. Go get our 3-step activation guide right now at the link below. It will give you all the guidance that you need to get started where you live and to do it in a way where you won't burn out. And now's your time to actually commit. Contact those 3 allies we mentioned at the top of this video, organize your first get together this week, and decide where you're going to take action. Show up and do it together. And hopefully next month, you'll look back on this moment and see how far you've come, knowing that you're not just hoping for a better future, but you're actually taking action step by step to be a part of the process of building it. Let's make this watershed year really count and live into all the possibility that this critical moment presents. I'll see you out there, and thanks for watching.